iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
I first became involved with Hell's Kitchen about a little over a year ago. My good friend Adam Blackstone is the music director supervisor on the project, and he was the one who sort of brought my name to Alicia for a reading last spring. And he sent her a video of me on Instagram, and she was like, "That's our girl." And so I was there in the reading, and it was a day or two in, and she sat me down, and she's like, "I'd really love for you to continue with this project. Like, you really are the thing we've been looking for, and you really are the embodiment of this woman who is loosely based on her mother." So yeah, that's how it started. It's a lot of pressure to play a real, live, living human. I've played historical figures before. Who have long since passed, but never someone who's alive and well and sitting next to me a lot of the time. We were well into the rehearsal process for the public production when I said, "Is anyone gonna like introduce me to this woman? I would love to meet her, have coffee with her, ask her some questions, get to know her." You know, they never were asking me to be a caricature of her or do an impression of her, or it was never anything like, you know, meant to impersonate her, right? But I wanted to make sure that I had the heart of who this person was and is, and also like I just wanted to make sure the essence of what I was doing was respectful and as close to her as possible. And in sitting down with her and then getting to know her, becoming friends, spending time with her, it became irrelevant almost because I realized how much we just inherently are alike. My favorite example is like I took her to see a show. I took her to see The Connector. And we're sitting in the audience and the lights start to go down and the show's starting. And I'm like, we're sitting the same way. Our hands are folded the same way. We physically respond in the same way. We audibly respond. We're just like very similar humans, just by nature of who we are. And so I thought, I don't actually have to reach for this. I get why Alicia said it's you, because there's just something about the two of us. Her friends will come to the show, or people who've known, friends of Alicia's, people who grew up with Terry and are like, "God, you nailed her. It's just the tone of your voice and where, like, you are her." It's like, I can close my eyes and I feel like I'm back, which is such an effortless thing. It truly is not conscious. I think if anything, it was really just little bits of information about her life and Alicia's life that she gave me that just helped to sort of like fill in the blanks or be the foundation for the story and the details, but not the person. That just seemed to be inherent, which was a gift, because I feel like it's the greatest affirmation when people who knew her then and know her now come and say, like, "You nailed her." I don't know what it is, but there is an essence that we're on the bullseye. So that makes me so happy. I remember when her first album came out and I'd never heard anything like it. And I remember feeling at that time, you know, being a songwriter, a singer, recording, trying to make my own albums and find my own voice inside of that, and which was extremely difficult because I had already sort of like begun to make a place for myself in the theater community on Broadway, and it was very hard to get the recording industry to see me as anything other than a Broadway voice or a Broadway performer. The worlds were so separate back then. So when her album came out, there just was this beautiful combination of this strength and edge and grit and rawness with this beautiful, vulnerable, musical, melodic femininity too. And I'd never really seen anything like it. I think the closest we ever had was like Mary J. Blige or Faith Evans, but Alicia just brought it to a whole other level. And it was transformative for me, inspiring. It gave me permission. It gave me freedom. And then continuing to watch her music and her career evolve and her person evolve was so inspiring. And even sitting down to talk to her about it very candidly today, like, you know, I feel like everything she went through in the recording industry and who she's come out to be today, I feel that I've had to do similar things with my own independent recording career as well as inside of the Broadway community of like, again, listening to other people, trying to please so many other people, not understanding you have agency and you have, it's back to listening to your gut. It's truly, and that's how she lives now, and that's how I live now. And so, getting to work with her every day in the way that we have is more than a dream come true. Because the dream was like, hey, maybe I can like write with this woman someday. Maybe we can record a song someday. And it was a couple weeks or a month ago that I was like, yo, this is better than the dream, because like I get to be with her and collaborate in so many different ways all the time, in ways I never could have imagined. Just the other day, we recorded a video in my dressing room together, singing one of my favorite songs of hers, and that was a pinch me moment where I'm like, and it was the first time in a year plus that we've actually sung together. I was like, we're singing together for the first time. So many dreams have come true inside of this, and again, not the least of which is the fact that like we're going to be friends forever now. You know what I mean? We're family now. So yeah, it's beyond what I did dream. Hairspray was a pretty perfect experience. A perfect experience to cut your teeth on, and also like something that can never be, an experience that can never be duplicated. And I keep trying to tell the kids in Hell's Kitchen that now. I'm like, remember all of these first, because they never happen like that again. It never feels the same, ever. Hairspray, it's so funny because there were so many other shows that I really thought were going to be my first, right? I thought for sure I was going to get Mamma Mia, and that was going to be my Broadway debut. I was so ready. There were so many things that I just like, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then it was Hairspray. And it was one of those beautiful moments that are such a gift, where you get to stop and look back and go like, it couldn't have been anything else, but it had to be Hairspray. That show gave me like my family. Those people Harvey still is pouring into me on a daily basis, telling me how I should be doing this and bossing me around. Marissa just came to the show the other day, and there's nobody who can feel pride for you like someone who has been with you for your entire career. My best friend, as I told you earlier, is on the road with Taylor Swift, but she's on the phone with me all day, every day. Like, she's a Hairspray. She's my best friend from Hairspray. Like, the closest people in my life who pour into me on a professional and personal level on a daily basis are from Hairspray. So the gift of what I learned from Harvey as a leading lady, I know everything I know about how to lead a company because of him. I know how better to write and arrange music because I worked with Mark Shaman. I know how important every company member is because of Jack O'Brien. I know how to bring 175% every night because of Jerry Mitchell. Like, the fingerprints of that group of people are all over me, and they will be forever. It was probably like everything that I've built on is the foundation is Hairspray. Like, and that's, to me, because that's the foundation, it's a really solid fucking house. I think as a singer, songwriter, recording artist, my journey with and relationship to writing and recording and producing my own projects has been a very serpentine route. It's been different with each project, even with each single. In the beginning, it was really, really collaborative. And then I'd say second and third project, I really did a lot of it alone, and then brought people in at the end to collaborate. And then I sort of froze as a writer, and so I can only write with other people now. And so it's been a really crazy journey. And the sad part about it is the more I learned and the more I knew about great songwriting, the less I was apt to write. Like, there's this part of me that if I'm going to do something, it needs to be good, it needs to be right. And it's sort of like cut off my inspiration, because this fear that like maybe I'll never write another song as good as Blood from a Stone or All to Me. And if I can't do that, then I don't want to be writing. So I'm in an interesting place because I really want to be writing, and I really want new music, and I really want to make a new record, but showing up to the work is like, I'm failing right now in that respect. I'm not showing up to it. And it really is just out of fear of it not being good enough. So maybe if I tattle on myself in a public forum, I don't know. I don't know. I've tried a lot of different things to it's not that there isn't inspiration. It's not that there isn't plenty to say. It's just I've allowed all of the other things going on to be the excuse for not showing up. You know what I mean? I think at this point, I sustain 8 shows a week because I'm built for this. I'm literally built for this. It's what I have trained my life to do. So I'm grateful to have a lot of wisdom and experience under my belt. So now I have an understanding of my body, my mind, my instrument, on a deeper level than I ever have in my career. And so I know exactly what to do to navigate. I know just how much rest I need. I know exactly what to do depending on how my instrument or my body are feeling, whether that's like exactly how to warm up or exactly what to take or what to drink or what, I just know. And that is nothing but years of trial and error and making mistakes. And it's just years and years of experience, and now that experience turns into wisdom and a really intimate understanding. And this is what I do. I don't do anything else. This is what I know how to do. Please don't ask me to do anything else. But if this is what I do, I gotta be fucking great at it, and I gotta be able to show up and deliver. So what draws people to draw me towards these roles is obviously my instrument first. I think these women are all big sings. And I think initially what makes me capable of doing them is the fact that people are like, well, at least we can check that box. She can sing it. We're safe. We got that covered. I think what I've learned, because I think for a long time I thought that was really all that I had to offer, and that was my strength, and that was my superpower, and then everything else could just hide behind that. But again, age, experience, wisdom, there were years where I didn't have it in the way that I used to, in the way that people knew me for it, which was kind of the best thing that ever happened to me, because in not having the facility, in having challenges vocally, in losing notes, I had to learn that I'm so much more than just the sounds that come out of my throat. There's a heart attached to it. There's a mind attached to it. There's years of experience attached to it, that nobody can tell a story like I can because of who I am and because of what I've lived. So I think the other thing about these women is, as strong and ferocious as they are also wildly vulnerable. They have these massive hearts. And I think Jenna was really the one that cracked it open for me, because I realized I couldn't hide behind the ferocity of an Elphaba or a Fanny Brice or even a Tracy Turnblad, that there was this tenderness and fragility, and I feel like Jenna and I, who was it? I feel like it was kind of a combo of something Diane said to me, Diane Paulus, the director, and one of my best friends. They were like, you guys like meet each other halfway. You bring a strength to her that she needs, and she brings out this vulnerability in you that you're afraid to show and share with people. So, and also Jenna was coming back after 14 some years of being away from Broadway, and it was terrifying. But I think that all of these women and all of their colors and all of who they are is all of who I am. We are all so much more than one thing. We're all so many women. We all have so many women inside of us, and so many colors and so many parts. And I feel like all of them are parts of me, and all of me, all of my parts are parts of them. I don't know if I'm articulating this the right way, but I always hope that I bring so much more than just ferocity to them, because the ferocity is the easy part.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.